Is it possible that chaos and glitches could help you beat perfectionism? After 1,000 chaotic hours in the broken world of Ark Survival Evolved, I realized imperfect action leads to more progress and more fun than waiting for things to be perfect. So in this video, I'm gonna show you how Ark's wild imperfection taught me, a lifelong gamer and former professional poker player, to embrace mistakes, overcome impostor syndrome, and get my dream projects moving with no perfection required. So how does Ark can help you break free from this perfection trap that is keeping you stuck? Well, to understand why Ark is both the best and the worst game you ever play, let me take you back to my first night in this world. My first in-game experience was just like everyone else. I woke up, scratched my left arm, and I saw I was stranded on a beach with nothing but my underwear. I started punching threes and slowly learned the basics of the game. Before my first night, I decided I wasn't going to build a simple square box. I was going to build the perfect thatch house by the beach. While gathering resources with my stone tools, I found a Dodo. I punched him until he was knocked out, fed him some berries, and we became friends. I named him Dodo Baggins. He was now my companion. We fought some small dinos, collected some materials, and as night fell, I started to feel a bit scared of adventuring. After all, I knew nothing about a game. I decided that nighttime would be good to start building my perfect thatch house. And so I did. But then, I heard a creepy sound in the darkness. It looked it was made by a really big dino, but since it was my first night, I thought the starting area was safe. I know that some games use sound designs to increase the stakes and make you more tense, so I kept building. But the heavy footsteps and sounds got closer. I grabbed my torch and went outside to see what was happening, and this scene haunts me to this day. A big, angry, red-eyed Spino was charging right for my house. I panicked. I entered my house, but it was too late. It clawed through my perfect house that wasn't even done yet, destroying everything I built. When I thought about running, I glitched and couldn't leave my house. In a final act of desperation, Dodo Baggins, my reliable partner who fought Dilus with me, tried to defend his home. It was brutal. He stood no chance. Trying to avenge Dodo Baggins, I grabbed my stone spear and charged, but it was a lost fight. I died. My perfect plan, my perfect start, was obliterated. And in that moment, the game became unforgettable. What a broken game. If I hadn't glitched, maybe I could have grabbed Dodo Baggins and run. If the game design was good, I wouldn't have to face an apex predator on day one. You know the feeling of a perfect plan being destroyed just by chaos? It doesn't just happen in a broken game. It happens in real life too. Recently, a month before a big move, a friend invited me to go karting, and I never raced cars before, but I fell in love with it instantly. You know, as a former pro poker player and a natural competitor, my competitive side kicked in, and when my friend told me about a tournament happening in just 2 weeks, I was all in. I told my friend, well, there are no kart tracks around where I'll move, so let's go into this tournament. We just need to practice for real and we may get a trophy. I created the perfect plan for that. It involved intense practice, physical training, everything. Not gonna lie, I was at the top of the Dunning-Kruger effect right there. I knew nothing about kart and I thought a 4th place in the first time race was a really good result. And my second practice didn't really help with that because I got P2, second place. So in my mind, getting 6 or better would be simple as trophies would be given up to 6th place. But just like in Ark, chaos got in the way. I couldn't practice as much as I wanted, so I resorted playing Forza Motorsport on a controller to at least feel like I'm improving my racecraft. And since I was just a few days away from moving, I had to deal with many other things. But I was confident in my plan until I arrived at the track on race day. I was immediately outmatched. Everyone else had custom gears, custom helmet. I thought I was in a Fortnite lobby with a default skin, while everyone else was flexing their level 100 battle pass skins. My perfect plan felt meaningless, and obviously, I didn't take into account that the drivers in a tournament would be way more experienced than the drivers from a random arrive and drive practice. Sitting in the cart, waiting for the qualify to start, that feeling of impostor syndrome was overwhelming. I kept thinking I shouldn't be there, I should just stand up and leave the tournament. I wasn't good enough to be here in the first place. I had no chance to beat the feud. But then I thought about Arked. And here's the funny thing. I have more than 2,000 hours in Arked. And incredibly enough, I've never finished a single map. I never beat even the easiest map in Arked. But it didn't mean I never had fun. What I enjoyed about Arked was the whole experience. Taming dinos, exploring, and even PvP, even though I sucked. And that mindset helped me to make a decision on track. I'm not here for the result. I'm here for the experience. Let's make the best of it. I qualified second to last, only ahead of my friend. And the race, it was chaos. I crashed, I missed corners and bumped through the grass like a shopping cart with a wobbly wheel. I shoved faster drivers out of the track due to my lack of race awareness. I got led by the leaders, and one thing I'll never forget is the look in the eyes of the terrified marshal when he saw me completely missing the corner and driving the cart at 60 kilometers per hour straight out in the grass. It was priceless. He didn't even worry about raising a yellow flag. I was so isolated from the rest of the pack that it didn't matter. All he did was contemplate this one-in-a-lifetime exhibition. I finished second to last. It was a disaster result, but it was one of the most meaningful and fun experiences of my entire life. That imperfect day didn't just give me a great memory, it ignited a new passion. I'm now investing in sim racing since there are no kart tracks around me. I'm even getting coached by one of the best sim racers in the world, the national kart champion and from Max Verstappen's team, Gustavo Ariel. Imagine if I decided to leave the tournament before the qualifying session. If I had crumbled because my perfect plan failed, I would have missed out on this whole new world and wonderful community I'm now part of. So what's the real lesson from a broken game and a disaster race? How does this help you break free from the fear of imperfection? It's this: stop waiting for the perfect moment. The perfect plan will fail, the perfect outcome is a myth, and you're always improving. The struggle, the chaos, the missed corners, the get arced moment, that's where the value is. That's what creates a life with unforgettable experience, not flawless results. Perfection isn't how you finish, it's how you choose to live the moments in between. A terrible game can help you start a dream project not by teaching you to be perfect, but teaching you to start, fail, and find joy in the chaos so you can improve. The best time to start was yesterday. The next best time is now. But there's one single problem with this mindset. You eventually fail much more than before because now you're taking more shots. And failure is bad, right? No, failure is actually a myth that is holding you back. And if you want to know why, then watch this video next, where with the help of Shadowheart from Baldur's Gate 3, we'll debunk the myth of failure and how failing is actually something good and life-changing.